Welcome everyone to the What's Left podcast. John here with Jake and Brad. We are the punk rock garage band podcast, adding our voice to resistance as loudly as we can here on the Derealization Nation Media Network. Thank you all for liking and subscribing and being a part of this ever-growing nation. Listen, we got a lot to talk about. Trump visits Zelenskyy visits Trump in Mar-a-Lago, Florida. We've got Nigeria bombing hitting the wrong parts of Nigeria. We've got billionaires getting billionaires money. We've got all kinds of stuff to talk about. And Trump is on the Epstein list. So like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Um, Boys, the president is a pedophile. Um, he also has a residence in Mar-a-Lago, Florida, which is not usually a place where one would go to meet with heads of state, especially about something as important as a war. Uh, but that's the timeline we're in. And that's where Zelensky met Trump today. But Trump, before the meeting, talked to his good buddy Vladdy Vlad. Jake, you pop up his tweet from before the meeting. This is, if there is any doubt in anyone's mind whose side Trump is on in this war, and there shouldn't be at this point because he's made it very, very clear. Donald Trump would like you to know whose side he's on. He said, just had a very good and productive phone call with President Putin of Trump prior to my meeting at 1 p.m. today with President Zelenskyy of Ukraine. The meeting will take place in the main dining room of Mar-a-Lago. Press is invited. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. Also, the press was invited, but also was kicked out during lunch. They were, fed by the staff at Mar-a-Lago while the meeting actually happened. So the press was not actually invited to the meeting. They're invited to be outside of the meeting, um, which, I guess is about as truthful as Trump gets. They come out, they say it's closer than ever, but also at the same time, when pressed about certain issues, like even the idea of a ceasefire, which is a must have in order to have this peace deal go through, Trump said it's a no go for Putin. You have to think about both sides. Guys, here we are all this time into this war. And Trump is still out here making the argument that there is a both sides to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Any uh, any thoughts on the meeting in Florida?
It's just more pandering. I mean, at least he didn't like berate him this time,
Yeah,
but
at least not
like this was all
publicly.
supposed to be handled on day one, and we're approaching the end of year one, and we're still.
Yeah,
This should be a dead issue. This should already be over with. Per Donald Trump's own words. This isn't me expecting more of Donald Trump. This is Donald Trump saying it will be handled on day one, and now we're at the end of year one.
yeah. Jake, he said that he thought this would be like a medium hard war to end. This is honest, God, this is the way our president talks. He thought this would be like in the middle of the wars that he had to end. It's actually turning out to be really difficult. Work is hard, and it's
Yeah.
just, yeah, it seems like Trump can't seem to get anything done.
It's funny how he says medium to hard, like he's stopped a war before, like he knows how to compare it to something else that he's stopped before. Like,
Yeah, like what, like Israel and Gaza?
right,
Yeah,
medium hard.
medium hard. Even today, like he was like, basically admitted that the Thailand Cambodia thing has been continued to rage, despite the deal saying that they will return to the ceasefire status momentarily. So, like, what is that even? That's nothing. It's a nothing burger. Like, he's solved nothing. Will continue to solve nothing. And it's clearly, I mean, if he's not a Russian agent, I mean, he is everything a Russian agent would be. Jake, you have the second. This is a screenshot because I really don't feel like playing his voice. This has the quote. It says, I saw a very interesting President Putin today. I mean, he wants to see it happen. He wants to see it. He told me very strongly. Uh, I believe him. Don't forget, we went through Russia hoax together, and he'd call me, and I'd call him, and I'd say, can you believe the stuff they're making up? It turned out we were right. They made it all up. So,
Someone better tell Marco Rubio that because I believe he was on the committee that said that none of it was made up. at
Yeah,
all.
that is true. So, if I'm following correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Trump Trump would call Putin to collude with Putin, and Putin would call Trump to collude with Trump, and they would complain about how the media was saying they were colluding, and then it all turned out to be a hoax. Is, is, is he not just admitting the fact that him and Putin were like colluding before the election?
I
I,
really think if you just keep letting him talk, unfortunately, the MAGA aren't going to change no matter what. But he, like, every conversation he has with himself on the internet or when he just goes on rants or what, it's just admissions of guilt. And like, if you just listen, like, Trump's going to tell on himself. Like, they talk about this, like, him being a predator and all this shit. Trump told us he was a predator years ago when he bragged about sneaking into women's dressing room pageants, all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, Trump's told us when, like, I swear to God, he'll tell on himself. Just listen.
yeah, 100%. He does it all the time, all the time. Some people might argue that he tells on himself the way he talks about big strapping men. You know, people you could make that argument. He often does talk about them. I know you don't
I
want
mean, Bubba is a person. It might not be Billy C, but it's a person.
You can keep pushing that narrative. Well, you want.
to.
Push it
Yeah,
all you want.
listen, I know I don't want to push. I don't. I do want to tease you about it, but at the same time, like I don't want to push it too hard because you got enough going on. You know,
Mhm.
enough. There's enough pressure on the community. They don't need this. They don't,
Right. Right.
they don't need this. Uh, so yeah. So what we see also as part of the GDP report, diving deeper into those numbers, is another large chunk of that came from defense spending. Defense spending. Could you imagine the American war machine being a big piece of the GDP? Uh, Also, government spending. So government spending, defense spending. One of the ways that we were under the previous administration propping up the war machine was selling weapons to Ukraine. Um, Justifiable as Russia is stealing their babies and bombing their daycares, hospitals, and schools. Um, about as good a reason to sell weapons as you can think, if there is any good reason to sell weapons at all, which is debatable. Uh, but since that's over, we've been selling planes to Saudi Arabia. We've been starting wars. And recently we began the Nicki Minaj wars of Nigeria of 2025. Uh, and on doing a little further research, guys, it turns out that the opposition leader, this isn't about the people, but the opposition leader uh, of the opposing party, government party in Nigeria, is Christian, while the current leader is a Muslim. And the Christian leader, of course, is promising Trump all of the oil and resources that Nigeria has to offer, which are abundant. And so he is going out to protect Christians. He's making it about Christians. And obviously, it's not about Christians. It's just about this one specific Christian who's promising him all of the oil. I,
Yeah, there's like a meme you see where it's like, oh, we found oil in such and such, and then it's like, oh, it sounds like such and such needs a little freedom. And this is like a perfect example of that. Like,
yeah. Yep. Well, it turns out when we bombed the place we bombed, although ISIS does have a presence in Nigeria, as it has a presence all over the world, we missed, which is pathetic for our Department of War crimes to have missed. It's not an accuracy of the weapons problem, as they managed to hit the smallest of fishing vessels off the coast of Venezuela, but seem to have missed an entire target of ISIS in Nigeria. So, an embarrassing uh, failure for the administration and just more war, more money, more oil. But as we back away from the European theater, we need to prop up defense spending somehow. And so I would say it looks like to me it's time to buckle up for regime change wars and invasions here on the Western Hemisphere. That seems to be the stated goal of Trump and Putin and Xi. Basically, it's like, they envision, even Marco Rubio says now, a multipolar world where the US controls the Western Hemisphere, Russia controls Europe, and China controls Asia. And if that sounds familiar, congratulations on remembering your high school reading course of 1984. We have always been at war with Eurasia. Uh, we've never not been at war with Eurasia. So yeah, this is, I mean, we are like every day just hitting every, uh, science fiction is becoming reality every single day. And this is no exception.
All the warnings that we had in forms of literature are like coming to fruition, and they just like ignore it. They're like, "Oh, that was just a silly book." No, bro, it wasn't just a silly book. It was a reality because of what y'all have let happen.
Yeah. It's a combination. Animal Farm, 1984, Brave New World, a little bit of Lord of the Flies, if you're a kid growing up Republican. Uh,
I am part hold myself to blame for where we're at right now, simply because I wasn't speaking out enough when the Democrats also weren't doing what I wanted them to, or when Obama was blowing up literally fucking everything with the drone attacks. Like I was so content with just picking the lesser of two evils because it wasn't Donald fucking Trump. That like now I realize that this whole system is set up, it's designed to impoverish us.
yeah.
That's like what the system is for. So now, like, I don't bite my tongue much when I'm talking about anything anymore because I feel like this shit needs to be said because we're losing the democracy that we were founded on.
Yeah, 100%. We definitely, not only like Obama didn't just fail to prosecute George W. Bush, he continued on the policies. I often think about the Teamsters Hall in Youngstown. And if you walk in the Teamsters Hall in Youngstown, you will see, it's in the Lordstown, Warren area, but you'll see stickers everywhere supporting Democratic candidates dating all the way back to the 70s, right? All over everywhere. And then in the second, including the first Obama presidency, just all kinds of Obama shit. But starting with the second Obama presidency, it goes and it fades, and you see nothing for Joe Biden. You see nothing anywhere updated, and it's a failure of that administration to stay progressive and to fall into the trap of being the same, doing all the same things. They didn't bail out homeowners; they bailed out the banks. They didn't bail out the GM employees; they bailed out GM. You know, and and then neolib, neocon, they made themselves almost no different than the party that they were elected to uh, be the exact opposite of. And, you still see it today. And part of it has to do with this piece, the fact that so much of our economy relies on the war machine to move. Yeah. Well, Jake, which piece of literature do you think does the current situation most remind you of?
The Hunger Games.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
will volunteer as tribute, hands down.
yeah.
I would. Why
I
not?
mean, I don't, I
Well,
really,
he's hosting the Patriot game soon.
yeah.
I think everybody gets to live after it's over, but I'm not. Nothing's written in stone yet. But I think.
Nothing's been set in stone.
Well, we can hope they can change that rule.
But honestly, worst case scenario, you win the Patriot games. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Right.
would love that honor.
Oh my God. God help us. Yeah, there isn't one warning sign that we're just not blowing through, including ones as absurd as the Hunger Games. Come on. Come on. All right. Um, so Jake, you give us the uh Israel Somali ones. So Israel, as usual, has also been active. Miriam Adelson was uncovered as having given $25 million to Trump's ballroom. So she continues to give money to the Trump regime, and Israel continues to do whatever the fuck they want in the West Bank and in Gaza. And then they did this. I'm not going to change the wording of Zai Squirrel at all because I think they did a good job. The genocidal Israeli death cult just recognized Somaliland as an independent country, which no other country on earth recognizes. It is in clear violation of international law, as it is a violation of the sovereignty of Somalia. At the same time, it demands that no one recognize a Palestinian state, even along the internationally recognized 1967 borders. And the Western media and political class treats this all as perfectly normal and fine as it continues to fund and arm this parasitical cancer on the world. Yeah, could have said it better myself. Um, Also, if you'll recall, folks, that the Somalibad is where there is an airport that is being used by the UAE to fund the RSF, which is causing the genocide in the Sudan. So we have our fingers in all of this, and your taxpayer dollars are paying for all of this. The UAE is involved in so many grifts along with Trump in their crypto schemes, and Israel as well. Obviously, has their tentacles in all of our uh, politicians almost, and continues to just do uh, and be a rogue state. This is increasing tensions with the Houthis in Yemen. And so like the next time just like every other time, but like you will see it's increasingly likely that you'll see an attack from someone soon on Israel, and they will claim to be, oh, just the victim. But you can see them poking the eye of every single neighbor they have over and over and over and over again. And the US just keeps funding it. Just keeps funding it.
We love to fund it, dude. Like we were just talking, like it all goes back to just funding the war machine. War machine's got to move,
Mm-hmm. Gotta
which
we
is like now if it's not the AI bubble stock propping up the stock market, the war machine is holding the GDP together.
Yeah, and it's all the same companies. You know what I mean? Like it's all the same people, same companies, same billionaires, top 10 people in the world. Uh Also, they've been increasingly taking territory in Gaza. We've reported on this before, but Jake, do you have the green looking one? So I reported before that people reporting that they wake up in the middle of the night and the yellow barriers that show them where they are and are not allowed to go in Gaza have moved. This is a let's see where Israel has occupied 10% more in Gaza since the ceasefire. So during the ceasefire, you can see the little yellow blocks on the chart. They've been moving the yellow line closer and closer and closer. They're squeezing them in, making it increasingly difficult, if not impossible, to live in. They're also going through intense flooding. And all along these borders, there is sufficient aid for all of these people: tents, blankets, supplies. Doctors report not having things like appropriate needles for sutures, um, just basic sterilization tools, scissors, just scissors, lack of scissors. Because God forbid somebody attack a tank with a pair of scissors. Uh, then we'd have a full-on war on our hands. But this is how Israel sees a ceasefire. This is how friends of Trump are allowed to do their ceasefires, and you'll see nothing different about the, this this Putin Trump uh, thing either.
If you look at this yellow line,
Hmm.
you can very clearly see that there is no route to leave.
Hmm.
Mm.
Good point.
There's nothing. There's no exit area to flee if you wanted to flee.
Right.
It's either the water or death. Pick.
And they will shoot you in the water as well. The water is not safe there either. So, yeah, just this is United States foreign policy, and this is what's propping up the war machine. This was propping up our GDP. Is the new laser beam for the Iron Dome that can shoot down missiles faster. That's a real thing. That's actually happening. All right, Jake, did I have one more slide in there? Let me see what it is. I forget. Um, all right, I hit all those points. So we got all these contracts are going to people like Palantir, who is in charge of all the ICE detention facilities, who Stephen Miller is openly invested in. And so every time Palantir stock goes up, Stephen Miller makes money. So every time more people are incarcerated in our ICE detention centers, Stephen Miller makes personal money, which is, of course, I don't know, conflict of interest. Is that still a term? Do we still do that? Do we still have those? Uh, if we do, that's one of them. Uh, but yeah, these guys are not skipping a beat, right? Like we are losing healthcare, we are losing Medicaid for a lot of people, we're losing food stamps. But these guys, the Elon Musks of the world, the Palantirs, the ICE, these guys are all getting their money, guys. And you can fucking bet on that. They have no problem taking a handout from the government.
No, and now they're just switching the prison industrial complex to immigrants, is all they're doing.
Yeah.
Because they're detaining all these immigrants in private prisons, and then they're making money hand over fist in the
Yeah.
private prisons.
Yep.
Your
Jake,
taxpayer money, by the way, your taxpayer money.
right. You want to be mad about something, like be mad about what we just talked about. Be mad about the fact, like this GDP that Trump is bragging about. This is like you. Like it is propped up by your credit card debt, your healthcare spending, your tax money going to Israel to uh basically Putin to genocide in Sudan. Um, it's going to Palantir, Stephen Miller, Christy Nome for private jets and hair extensions. I mean, it's going all of these places except for where it should be, which is to help you, me, and our neighbors. Like that is what our taxes are for. Taxes are not theft, but the way that they spend it is, right? We should have solid social security, we should have health care, we should have basic things in life. Instead, we have ICE. Jake, give us the ICE, please. It's just some stats on ICE, and it's like we see its cruelty every day. You see them dragging people out of cars, separating families, incarcerating people who are U.S. citizens, who are veterans, who are picking their kids up from school. But just in case you're on board, let me give you just some straight fucking efficiency stats. ICE is planning to house 10,000 immigrants in a warehouse in Stanford, Virginia. The acting director for ICE said their goal is to move them like Amazon Prime, but with human beings. Let's be clear, these are concentration camps. They're people, not packages. So, I've seen the meme plenty of times. If you have to discussing whether or not it is or is not a concentration camp is not the sign of uh, a healthy society, and that's where we are. We've got ICE is literally locking courtrooms to hold secret hearings. They don't want you to see what they're doing inside. Minnesota's immigration courts are shutting out public in alarming ways. Courtrooms are locked, names are redacted from daily dockets, reporters are being expelled and having their phones searched. Having their phones searched. Government watchdogs are turned away at the door. Over 400 people detained this month are having their fates decided in secret. Who stays, who gets deported, all without public scrutiny. The only reason to do that is because you know you're doing some bullshit. You want some
Yeah.
bullshit.
If this was all above the book, they would be flaunting it.
Absolutely. Guess what else happened today too? The case against Kilmore Abrego Garcia in Tennessee has been canceled. Instead, the judge needs to look into the government for bringing these charges in the first place. Kilmore Abrego Garcia is not a gang member and is not certainly not a human trafficker. They have no proof and no evidence.
John, you're going to tell me that he didn't have in Times New Roman MS-13 across his knuckles. Is that what you're going to tell me?
Listen, listen. I'm trying to tell you, he did not.
Rumor has it he started a TikTok, and I pray that it's true.
Oh, he did. Kilmore?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite good. He could be doing a lot. He could be ta taking it a lot harder on him, but he is being much nicer than I would be. But yeah, he definitely has one. Check him out. Kilmore Garcia. All right. ICE data, so their own data, which is crazy because we know they like to manipulate their own data. We've caught them doing it. Confirms that only 3.1% of people sent to CCOT have a violent criminal record. They sent almost 300 Venezuelans to CCOT. Only 3.1 of those people had a criminal record. Only 3.4% of people they arrested in Chicago have a violent criminal record. 3.4%, 0% in the apartment complex that they raided in the middle of the night, like they were going after fucking Osama bin goddamn Laden. Um, well, the 75,000 people they've arrested have no violent criminal record. But, as pointed out by Kasim Rashid, nearly 100% are Latino. Nearly 100% are Latino.
Imagine that. We don't see Russian immigrants getting dragged into the street.
Hmm. No, you don't see Melania in court, do you? She got the most questionable visa there is. That's not, I mean, plus, like, green card marriages are supposed to be for the green card. And it's hard to imagine what else that marriage is about. Could be a little Russian collusion. Who knows? You know, not to get ahead of ourselves, like a conspiracy thing. But let's talk a little bit about the economy. I got some there's no good news to bring, I'm sorry. But I just have to counter the bullshit on this big number for the GDP growth. GDP is just not a sign of how the economy is doing in general. In fact, it can be a pretty bad sign. Um, I feel like we do this update every week. Federal Reserve pumped 2.5 billion, much less than last week, into the U.S. banking system through overnight repos. That's more than 120 billion that has been injected this year compared to the prior years. Jake, can you zoom in on that chart there, specifically the recent years? Yeah, all of that, all of that is this year. It's just not something that happens. And it's happened huge numbers. Numbers like you wouldn't believe. Numbers I've never been seen before. Think that's what he means when he says it?
I don't I don't understand how the dollar's worth anything.
Ah, I'm glad you asked, Brad. I'm glad you asked because we're going to get there. We're going to talk about that dollar because it isn't. But before we do that, real quick, applying to a job in 2025 is the statistical equivalent of hurling your resume into a black hole per Business Insider. When somebody submits a resume today, they have an abysmally low 0.4% chance of actually getting the job. Yeah, just get your bootstraps out, throw your resume into the black hole, and everything's gonna be fine. You're poor because you don't work hard enough. That's what they want you to believe. But also this. All right, what else we got, Jake? Billionaires wigging out because they might have to pay a little bit of tax in California. Here's David Sachs, who co-wrote a book with Palantir's Peter Thiel. To be clear, the Billionaire Act tax act in California is not just an unrealized gains tax. It's a 5% across the board confiscation of net worth. It applies even if one has already realized and paid taxes on the entire amount. That's they are so fucking pathetic. It's a 5% capital tax on unrealized gains, which means that the money that billionaires sit on and hoard can't be taxed because they don't technically have it, right? Their net worth isn't taxed. So their net worth, even though it generates income for them, is not taxed like income. It's not taxed at all. And so this would be a 5% tax for a couple of years on that income. This is the whiniest baby bullshit on the entire planet. Davis Axis threatening to leave California. These motherfuckers, you ain't got nowhere else to go. The rest of the world would tax the fuck out of you. The only place you have to live is here in the United States.
Right. We are a haven. It's either us or go to Saudi.
And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to build these fucking in Gaza. They want to build this tax haven in there's Honduras. They want to build a tax haven. They want to build islands full of garbage to float in the middle of the ocean so that they can live in international waters and not pay tax. How insane do you? What are you doing with all this worth? That worth? You know what I mean? Like you're gonna live on a trash island by yourself in the middle of the ocean so that you don't have to pay taxes? Are you? You are touched in the head, my friend. Touched. People are not smart. What else do we got, Jake? I don't want to talk about these people. The fucking David Sachs trash bag. Here's some fun facts. Young Americans are falling dramatically behind in retirement saving, which is just funny for me to say. And the numbers reveal a generation-wide problems with serious consequences. So the median under 35 American has just $18,880 saved for retirement, barely enough to cover a year or two of basic living expenses. I don't know where you are covering more than 6 months of living expenses for 18.8, other than maybe like a cardboard box outside of a restaurant dumpster. Uh, but yeah, half of this group has virtually nothing at all in retirement
If I
accounts.
retired before my mortgage is paid off, I couldn't pay it on 18.8. I couldn't pay it for a year on 18.8.
Yeah, but don't you say they also want you to have 50-year mortgages, so it won't matter. You just work forever until you die.
I forgot about that, bro. 50-year mortgages.
Huh.
They don't ever want, you're just long-term renting at that point. You'll never own your house.
No. Yep, that's all it is. It just the bank always owns it. It just means that the bank gets to collect is like your landlord, and I'm sure that I'm sure that would be no worse than every other landlord, which isn't saying much. So yeah, as you can see, more than half of 65 plus. Um, it's basically half until you get to under 35, and then it's basically nobody. Basically, nobody has a retirement under 35. Fucking sad. Fucking sad. The 55 to 64, is that boomers or is that Gen X? That's Gen X, right?
Yeah, that's my dad and
Yeah.
yeah, that's my parents.
Fucking wild.
Ugh.
All
The
right.
boomers are so much worse.
So much worse. I don't know. Maybe they're not. Here we go. The ultimate recession indicator. Dollar Tree says that 3 million new households that shopped at its stores in the third quarter, about 60% of them earn over $100,000 a year. So, yeah, even the people making over 100 grand are like, boy, I don't want to pay $6 for that wrapping paper. It's fucking wild. That's a wild statistic. Not the sign of a healthy economy.
Yeah, you know it's bad when you're buying discount wrapping paper because that stuff sucks.
It does. I bought it this year and you end up like double going over things because it just tears.
Yep, so easy.
You can't wrap things with corners with dollar store wrapping paper. All right, what else we got, Jake? Ah, here we go.
Oh,
The,
look.
the US dollar lost about 10% of its value this year. Holy shit. When gold and silver go parabolic and the dollar tanks simultaneously, you're witnessing a loss of confidence in currency. Central banks are diversifying and investors are hedging, hence the gold and silver rallies. And America's $38 trillion debt makes that trend hard to reverse. This is not good at all. Which understatement of the year goes to Fluent in Finance. Yeah, no, it's not good. It's very bad. It's very, very bad. The reason we get to do the trade that we do is because the world trades on our currency. Basically, if our dollar goes, our credit goes, and our credit's already trash, which is why he brings up the debt in the first place.
This is the fear they tried to instill in us with bricks. Like that they would basically like eliminate our dollar and we're actually going to do it for them.
Yeah. Yeah, Bricks was dead until this. Bricks is revitalized.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's take a break. Come back. Let's talk conspiracy, theory, fact, fiction, all of the above. Have a little fun, lighten the load a little bit. Um, Want to let you guys know the next week got a treat. We are be doing our first interview with a political candidate running for office, Lauren Collin for Congress in California's 34th district. Looking forward to that a lot. So I hope you guys tune in and watch that. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Like and subscribe if you haven't done it already. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the What's Left podcast on the De-Realization Nation. I am Jake here with Brad and John. We are going to talk about some conspiracy theories and have some fun with it. Well, some of us are going to have some fun with it. And you can like and subscribe, and we can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, and we'll get right into it.
Yeah, let's start with mine since mine is the least amount of fun since it's just, reality. You know, we deal in conspiracy theories, facts sometimes, real stories, fake stories. But it's a good time and in this world of derealization, it's hard to tell the difference sometimes, but I just want you to know that this one is a real story. This one is not a theory, this is a actual thing that happened here on Earth One. So, a company that doesn't exist sent $100 million to Trump's family. They have no offices, no records, no history, and nobody knows who they are. Go ahead and scoot us over, Jake. So, an entity called Aqua One Foundation sounds super fucking legit. Invested $100 million into World Liberty Financial. For those who don't know, World Liberty Financial is a stablecoin company owned by the Trump family. It Aqua One is now their largest known investor. There's been some pretty large investments too, so that makes them pretty a pretty good company. But all World Liberty's financial structure is simple. So when somebody buys a token, the Trump family receives 75% of that. So this deal routes 75 million to Trump's family. That's just the way that works. Like there's no if ands or buts about that. If $100 million went to World Liberty Financial, then 75 million of those dollars went to Trump's family. Go ahead, Jake. Um, Now you can't find Aqua One. You can search the entire internet. You can search different global markets. It's not in Dubai. It's not in UAE. It's not anywhere. UAE regulators say they've never heard of it. That sus, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, all of these countries have uh, weaseled money to the Trump family through this organization. But all of them claim they don't know anything about it, and there is no way to trace it, which is the fundamental problem with cryptocurrency that was pointed out many times by many people. And now you have the president of the United States with his own fucking crypto company that anybody can just dump $100 million into, even nobody. So, uh, this website was created in May and they invested in June. They're not even trying. Not even trying. Crypto funds in the UAE usually take 6 to 12 months to register, but Aqua One appeared overnight with $100 million. Just magic. Magic. This is not a theory. This is happening. I need you to like keep that in mind. Gotcha. Just fucking unbelievable blockchain data shows that $90 million was routed from the OKX exchange, one major outgoing transfer of 80 million to World Liberty. No other investments, no diversification, just one destination. So this money was appeared to go to just appeared out of the ethos in order to be transferred to World Liberty Financial and for no other reason, for no other investments, just this. This is wild. Um, Now, circumstantial evidence, but UAE officials had just pledged $1.4 trillion, an absurd magical number. They also pledged six unicorns, a tub of happiness, and six I don't know. The U.S. investors following meetings with Trump. Abu Dhabi's state-backed MGX committed $2 billion to World Liberty stablecoin. Yeah. And then suddenly, this $100 million shows up. Other major buyers include Justin Sun, Binance, Important Fame, DWF Labs, 25 million, and numerous anonymous wallets. So the president receiving money from anonymous sources, which is just not okay. So it's foreign money, it's opaque structures. Um, but if I recall, Hunter Biden received money for a painting while not being in government, and so we should, I don't know, Joe Biden something something. Give me the next slide, Jake. One more one. We'll get out of this fucking hellhole. The official line. Assets are held in a trust managed by his children. There are no conflicts. The transparency is about legality alone. It's about public confidence. Listen, they melted down for 4 whole years over what Hunter Biden may or may not have done during the vice presidency of Joe Biden many, many moons ago, to the tune of maybe a couple of $1 million. They're openly and admittedly doing business with foreign companies in untraceable cryptocurrency, and no one is even talking about it. MAGA is the biggest bunch of bullshitters on the fucking planet. This, I say it again, is real. It's real. That's all I got.
The conspiracy is that they'll overlook it by saying something like, "Well, what about Hunter Biden?"
Yeah.
But like, yeah, y'all were furious. Do you remember how mad you were? Do you remember how pissed off you guys were about Hunter Biden?
Mhm.
Just keep the same energy. What do you mean? Like, our president could just make deals that are untraceable whilst the sitting president of the United States were allowing that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene entered into our congressional record pictures of Hunter Biden's cock because she was so upset about the laptop. Where's that energy?
We never match their energy.
No. No,
We
because
never
they're
match it.
it's tough because they're literally fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You know?
Some of it's just so they just they don't have a single independent thought. So it's just like regurgitating whatever Facebook meme that they saw or what. It's just so annoying. Like, come on, guys, just do a little bit of research. I'm begging you to just do the quickest search. Like, please look up one thing for yourself.
They don't even need to do research. These stories, they just need to believe news sources instead of Bill from work.
I was arguing with a gentleman today about AOC and how she isn't the multimillionaire that they say she is on Facebook memes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And I was like, you just show me one search that tells you that she is legitimately a multimillionaire. Please cite that source for me. And he legitimately came back and said, I'm sorry, I was unaware. I was wrong.
It's not that difficult, man.
John almost had a stroke. I was like, I didn't expect this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's crazy. Dude, I have a little bit of pounding behind my eye myself. I can feel my heartbeat in my ears. That's crazy. Oh my God. All right. Let's talk about something more fun. Give us something give us something fun. Who wants to go? I know you both do.
Jake, do you want to go?
I can go if you want.
All right, cool. Go
All right. So mine is that Finland doesn't exist. It's just not there. Finland doesn't exist, and I'll tell you why. I'll get into it. Around the mid 20th century, Japan and the Soviet Union shared a secret about a stretch of the Baltic Sea between the Soviet Union and Sweden. They then spread the idea that there was a landmass known as Finland on this stretch of the ocean to keep the good fishing spots. keep these good fishing spots secret. Japan now free to fish as much as they want without international laws as long as they shared with Russia, right? So another thing about this, why Finland doesn't exist, few people have visited Finland, and planes will drop off visitors to remote forested areas throughout Sweden, Estonia, and Russia instead. There's also some things about the Trans-Siberian Railway, not the orchestra, the railway, was built to transport the catch from the Baltic Sea to Japan under the guise of Nokia hardware. This explains why Japan is the biggest importer of Nokia products, despite the fact that few Japanese people use them. And a lot of people get confused why Nokia, we just saw this in Portlandia. It's not a Japanese company. It is a Sweden company, right? There's something as simple as the name Finland. Fin means fish. And some say Finland is used by social democrats as an idealized model of how a liberal social democracy should be.
Mm.
And I have photo evidence of this bullshit that they call. Made this myself.
This bullshit that they call Finland.
Made this little ditty myself.
I didn't realize it was that big.
Because it's not real. Because how much do you know about Finland? Nothing.
I know that Fox News hates Finland. I know that capitalism hates Finland because Finland is the model of a working social democracy.
They probably also hate it because Japan and Russia have schemed their way into getting these exports little to no without regulations. It's also why they hate it. Because they don't have a treasure island that they can fish in 24/7.
Somewhere there is a man in real tree gear who is prepping his pack to go ice fishing in Minnesota. And he's like, you know what? I get that. That makes sense to me. It's because he's not telling his family where he's going. He's never told anyone where he fishes at. He's like, you know what? I get this. This makes sense.
Right. He's like, actually, yeah, this has kind of got some life behind it. I'm not giving up my fishing spot either.
Right. Oh my God. So is there any actual evidence, money transfers?
Did you not see the giant fucking map that said doesn't
I
exist?
literally made photo evidence.
On his knuckles, Terry. MS-13. Man.
And also you could say the whole railway itself. What better way to hide money than build something? And they built that railway.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to find out there's a little money laundering going on, a little illegal shipments. But I don't see why that negates the fucking existence of the that area itself. Like the area can still exist.
This was in the 20th century.
There's just people in Finland right now, like, listen to these guys.
Yeah.
Like, honey, we don't exist.
Did you know that? They probably don't care. You know what people
They
don't visit.
do care. No, here's the thing. They do care. There's a huge Reddit community of this man who posted it in 2015 and it went fucking viral. Like this shit went viral because he said it didn't exist as a joke. Like said it didn't exist, and the Finnish people went psycho on him. They're like, "What do you mean we don't exist?" and everything. Like it went crazy.
That's amazing.
So yes, the Finnish people do get upset about being called non-existent.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, I think. Man, I had no idea this was even out there. Where did you find this? Were you on Reddit when you found this?
This has been around forever. I've known about this forever.
I don't. You seem to have known about a lot of conspiracy theories forever. You've spent a lot of time on. Yeah.
YouTube. I'm a YouTube kid. I was raised on YouTube.
I was to say, bro, they never left the internet. They never left.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, all right. So Finland doesn't exist. News to the people of Finland. News to the international community. Uh,
I don't know how you can argue with the evidence that I brought today.
it is it is difficult. It was written right on his knuckles, after all.
It really was. I really had to think about that one.
Yeah.
Brand.
It's clear that you spent a lot of time and effort on that.
It was harder to find one with actually Finland inside the map.
Oh shit.
And if you actually
Ah,
know the geological, like where Japan is compared to um, Sweden, it's kind of an excessive long way to make a fishing route for them.
for
So
sure. There's a lot of water. There's a lot of water near
there's a lot
Japan.
of land, a lot of Russia itself.
Right. I don't know. I know they do love a long train out there, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure it exists. I'm sure the railway exists. I don't it seems like there's more efficient ways of doing business, like say
Uh,
cryptocurrency.
efficient.
Efficient.
Uh,
Way to tie it all together.
Beautiful.
Way to really route it out there.
I
Yeah.
really had to hook it in.
It really tied the room together, did it not?
Yeah.
All right. Brad, what do
Cool.
you
So
bring?
mine is all me and Jake have talked about the subject before. I talked about Kanye West. He talked about Paul McCartney, um, essentially being replaced. Um, and Britney Spears is suffering from a mental breakdown right now, or recently, or honestly, over the years, multiple mental breakdowns
Mhm.
and things like that. So it made me kind of look into it a little more. And there's actually a list of multiple celebrities that people think have been replaced over the years. Um, so number one is Avril Lavigne.
hmm That one's full
Um,
on for real.
yeah. So uh, um, so the story with Lavigne is that she grew depressed with her life in the early 2000s and took her own life. She was then replaced by a lookalike named Melissa Vendella, was her name, or Vendaya Vendella, who was specifically taught how to sing and act like the late singer to capitalize on her success. Proponents of the theory also point to Levine's altered physical appearance, including the absence of specific moles and blemishes on her. We already talked about Paul McCartney. We just talked about Britney Spears. In 2001, radio host released breaking news that Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake were in a terrible car accident and Britney Spears did not make it. It was immediately wiped. The story didn't pick up any gravitas, but like 2001 Britney and Justin, bro, that was like there was so much money in them. Like the same thing with Avril Lavigne, like had to capitalize on the success. Obviously, we see Britney every day. Britney is not the Britney that was singing "Oops, I Did It Again." That's not the Britney Spears that we have today. That is for certain. Unfortunately, there's so much cosmetic surgery nowadays that just saying they look different is a real tough sell
Yeah,
to me anyway. You know what I mean?
100%.
And a lot of these celebrities are like um, huge, like they have the money to look however they want.
Yeah.
Another one is Miley Cyrus. I'm not sure if you saw her most recent photo shoot, but she
Yeah.
looks nothing like Miley Cyrus. That's insane.
Yeah, that's weird.
Another one is Melania.
Mm.
Uh, the conspiracy theory is that she was replaced by a body double as she was unwilling to perform the public duties of First Lady. It became widespread in May 2018 when Trump disappeared from the public eye for weeks while recovering from surgery. It was also unintentionally bolstered by Trump himself, who accidentally referred to Melania as Melanie in a tweet. Melanie Trump, the perfect name for a body double, you know, kind of loose,
Yeah.
yeah. But either way, famous rapper Gucci Mane. We already talked about Kanye West, Miley Cyrus.
Gucci too, huh?
Also,
hmm
yes, Gucci after he came out of prison was like a completely different person, look completely different. You know, but again, all these people are like money. Like it's all it's all dollars. Like they're they mold themselves to the money.
Sure.
Beyonce, who was replaced by the Illuminati, obviously.
Yeah.
That's pretty apparent. That one's probably pretty real.
Yeah.
That one's pretty real. Because every celebrity is in the Illuminati. That's just
Yeah.
part of it.
And then also fans say that Eminem died in 2006 and was replaced by a body double as well. Like I said, there's like so many cosmetic surgeries, it's hard to say, well, they look different. Well, yeah, they could disappear for a week or two and come back with a whole new face. Like,
Yeah.
it's not, you know.
Eminem is probably a lot different person. He quit doing drugs around the same time that
Yeah.
people that does tend to change a person physically, mentally, all around. Um, so yeah, I don't know that I believe any of them, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. You tell me that Justin Timberlake was involved, and I'll believe just about anything.
You got to look into the Avril one. Because even like the voice difference is a little
Okay.
bit.
All right, I'll
You have to
admit
look
it.
into
I'll
that one.
admit it. Like that one resonated, uh,
Hmm.
but I kind of brushed it off a little bit. But because I don't know, born skeptic. Uh,
You've come to the dark side, John.
but god
It's
damn,
nice
dude.
over here. It's
Yeah,
nice over here.
We
if
don't have
it,
Finland over here.
why don't you want Finland? I want Finland. I want to live in a world with Finland. I mean, you could fucking lose somebody else maybe, but Finland, let's keep them. I don't know. Yeah, like I said though, Justin Timberlake, something about that guy. Something about him. He's just an evil piece of shit. I can tell. I know. I was, I used to be a piece of shit, but now I'm not. So now I know. Baby, I can tell. I know. Justin Timberlake, it's sus. Yeah. Those are pretty good. Pretty good. Thinkers, all. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Finland exists, but it's kind of thing that, like, I don't know, makes you wonder. Um,
The Finnish people certainly think it's real.
yeah.
I don't know what I don't know what they've been giving them over there. They've been working in the
Someone better
IKEA
tell them.
factory too long. I don't know
Yeah,
what it
someone better tell them to go to the tallest tower and see if they're actually in Finland.
It was Estonia the whole time. All right. Well, that's the show for this week. Like I said, next week on the Sunday show, so Sunday night uh into Monday morning, we will be interviewing candidate for Congress Lauren Collin, California's 34th district. We're looking forward to that a lot. I hope you guys check back in for that one. Um, and thank you guys for being part of the Derealization Nation. It's been growing steadily every single day. We love to see it. Love connecting with you guys. Some of the comments, really they're inspiring and it's cool to hear. And we love doing this. And so, like, when you give us that feedback, it just means the world, and we appreciate all of it. And you know what? The haters too, because nobody hates a nobody. So the it's good to get the hate mail. We love to see it. Uh, if you haven't done it already, like and subscribe for Christ's sakes. Become part of the Derealization Nation. Everybody else is doing it. Buy a You Made t-shirt at derealizationnation.com. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Until next time, I'm John,
is.
And I'm Brad.
and that's what's left.
Y'all, we are really about to interview somebody running for Congress on our podcast. We can't thank you enough.
Yeah.